Starbucks really make the best pumpkin spice latte? Hello, fall freaks. Welcome to That's Rank. Today, you and I are going to be going on a little bit of a road trip together as we hit up some of the biggest name coffee shops available to us. Not only here in the Ottawa area, but I'm going to piecemeal some old footage together and bring you a full pumpkin spice latte showdown. Now, of course, Starbucks popularized the pumpkin spice latte all the way back in 2003, but does that mean that they are still the best today as competition has rolled out? Well, we're going to put that to the test and find out if that is in fact still true. And for starters, I'm going to hit us up with Second Cup, which is a Canada-only coffee shop. I reviewed a number of their holiday coffees last winter, but I have never actually tried their pumpkin spice latte before. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what they've got. I've always been a little bit hit or miss when it comes to Second Cup. What they do really, really well, but when they don't hit, they're really off the mark. This one hits really, really nicely. They've done well. I find it to be almost more of like a caramel pumpkin pie type flavor to it. There's definitely some extra layers of sweetness that I'm not used to inside of a pumpkin spice latte, but I like it. It's a really nicely balanced drink. It's got your nutmeg, it's got your cinnamon, it's got your shot of espresso in there, so you don't forget the fact that you're drinking a very strong coffee, but there's nice sweetness to bring down the bitterness and bring it back into being like a really refreshing fall treat. Starbucks might actually have some competition, and I didn't think that that's how today's episode was going to start off, but I am going to put this in the A tier. I'd order this again. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Second Cup, really, really good job. You know what? I feel like I might actually enjoy filming today's episode, so let's hit the road, head off to our next spot, and in the meantime, check out this review of the Dunkin Donuts Pumpkin Spice Latte. Hey, this is Chris from the past, joining you in the present, which at the time of filming this is my future. I know we're in the middle of a giant pumpkin spice latte throwdown, and I just wanted to ensure that Dunkin Donuts was well represented. So we don't have any Dunkin Donuts where I live in Canada. The closest one to us is in Ogdensburg, New York, about 45 minutes from my home. And it requires me to negotiate with the US border guards to let me into the country. They've genuinely grown suspicious in the past when I go over just to go to Dunkin Donuts, which I've absolutely done. So I try to limit those runs because they absolutely do not believe that anyone would travel that far for a box of munchkins. I reviewed this one already in my Dunkin Donuts fall menu video, so if you missed that one, do make sure to circle back after the fact. I will leave a link in the comments section below. For those of you who have not seen my Dunkin Donuts fall video, surprise, I hate this. And I hate that I hate this because they actually have a really good pumpkin spice flavor in here. The issue with this is they drained the entire Brazilian sugar reserves in order to make this. And I don't mean their entire season of pumpkin spice lattes. I mean this cup right here. It's holding 25 million metric tons of sugar in here. What they need to do is take the sweetness way down in order for this to be something that humans can safely consume. So this is solidly in the D tier for the PSL Showdown, and the only thing keeping it from being an F is that the pumpkin spice and vanilla flavor is so tasty, but it's completely and totally drowned out by the sugar. Of course, if you saw my Dunkin Donuts Showdown, you already knew where I stood on the Dunkin Donuts Pumpkin Spice Latte, but not the finest thing that they've ever pumped out on their menu. With that in mind, let's see what Tim Hortons is able to bring to the table. We'll see if the lineups have calmed down at all since this morning. I'm filming this on the same day that they're doing the orange donuts, and you can check out my short on that one. But the lineups were pretty crazy intense this morning, and that makes me happy because it means a lot of money is likely going to the charity today. So really, really fine work. And as I pull up here, yeah, the lineup is still pretty wild. And it's 2:30 in the afternoon. You never see this. Tim Hortons, usually very popular, but they're lined up right out into the street right now. I am just out of the way of traffic, but the guy behind me is not quite so lucky. So this location I'm at actually has two lines to get into for the drive-thru. It sort of splits off, and the lineup's moving pretty quickly here, so it shouldn't be too long. So I've always been a fan of the pumpkin spice stuff, but I didn't realize it was actually part of my identity until 2018 when I traveled to live in Manila that fall, and I wasn't able to get the PSL like I normally do. And I guess some of the people I was working with knew this, and I remember one girl came into work one day and said that she had specifically visited Starbucks in the hopes of getting me a PSL, but they weren't selling them in Manila that year. I guess they had in previous years, but this year they weren't carrying it, and she was really, really sorry to let me down because she really wanted me to have my PSL. And it's at that moment I realized I probably talk an awful lot about the PSL, and that might not be healthy, but it's who I am. The scary part about my addiction is my total sugar intolerance that exists as well, but we try to coexist. We don't, but we try. This location's actually a combination Wendy's / Tim Hortons at the same time, and they still have their advertisement up for the Caramel Apple Frosty. If you haven't seen my review on that one, go ahead and check it out here on the channel, but a bit of a spoiler, huge endorsement. So Canada, if you have not yet had a taste of that thing, get your hands on it, because I don't know how long it's gonna be in stores, and it's phenomenal. Blazing Baconator, take it or leave it, but the Caramel Apple Frosty.
Hi there, how can I help you today?
Hi, can I get a small pumpkin spice latte, please?
Anything else?
That's everything.
I'll give you $3.45 on the window.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Apparently Tim Hortons has new loaded bowls, chicken habanero and cilantro lime chicken. For a coffee and donut shop, I don't know how I feel about that. Wonderful.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you very much. You too. Oh no, yeah, I remember you from last fall. No. Oh my God, what is wrong? Tim Hortons, I have a question for you. Have you ever tasted a pumpkin spice latte? Or did you just hear about it and this is what you thought it was? It's just dank and bitter, and they threw a handful of cinnamon on top and thought that that made it a pumpkin spice latte. It ain't. It tastes like the leftovers of a colonoscopy prep. I'm in such a foul mood right now after drinking that. That's F-tier nonsense is what that is. There's nothing remotely okay about that, and Tim Hortons should be embarrassed that that's on their menu. If you've ever gone to Tim Hortons and ordered that, please, I need some validation right now to know that I'm not the crazy one. There can't be people that possibly like that. All right, I'm pulling up right now into McDonald's, hoping for a better experience, but in the meantime, let's flash back to the one that I had at 7-Eleven last month. So this pumpkin spice latte episode, not the most well planned out episode I've ever put together. We're still in the USA. Last stop, we're headed back up to the Canadian border, stopped in at 7-Eleven to grab a little bit of gas and get some fuel. And I'm walking around the store a little bit while I'm in there and happen to notice that they have a pumpkin spice latte available, which makes total sense because when I think, high quality coffees and fresh ingredients, I think 7-Eleven, I had to get it. It was sitting right next to the roller where you've got that thick hot dog whose skin is tighter than a Florida resident that spent time in the sun, and it's just slathered in baby oil from end to end. Like it's a disgusting looking hot dog. And then right next to it, you got the pump where you're just squeezing this hot pumpkin spice latte. What am I imagining this is gonna be? Oh my God, they've used nothing but the freshest pumpkin puree, no doubt. Sugar that they've harvested themselves from the fields down in Brazil. This is going to be the height of the pumpkin spice latte, I'm sure of it. Pumpkin spice latte from the 7-Eleven. You've heard my complaints about Dunkin Donuts at this point. And somehow 7-Eleven was like, Dunkin's got a pretty good thing going on here. What it needs though is more sugar. They have discovered a method to inject even more sugar directly into the sugar. It's like they took the sugar cells and just intravenously started pumping them as full of sugar as they possibly could. Again, it's got the same problem as the Dunkin Donuts because the pumpkin spice flavoring is actually really, really good. But I'm gonna go, you know what, if I gave that one a D, I'm gonna give this one an F tier. I can't recommend this because this is in effect going to kill you. If they put you on a glucose drip, they would only need to give you about a sip worth of this stuff without worrying about spiking your blood sugar into a whole nother dimension. It's way too much. It's gotta stop. Chill, make it stop. F tier all the way, 7-Eleven. So I'm gonna do something that I don't typically do, but now that I've had these other drinks to compare it to, and I'm aware of just how bad the F tier really is, I'm actually gonna bump that one up into the D tier. F tier, it's not comparable to what I just had from Tim Hortons. It's not good. The sugar is way too heavy, but at least it had an idea of what a pumpkin spice latte should be. A wasp just flew into the woman's car in front of me. She's swatting it, trying to get out of the window. Love it. She is not happy. Hi, can I get a small pumpkin spice latte, please?
Yeah, of course, just one sec. One small pumpkin spice latte.
Yep.
Anything else?
That's everything.
Perfect. All right, your total is $3.40.
Thank you. All right, so that one was $2.99, which is the cheapest one I've had in Canada so far, although I think the one at 7-Eleven was cheaper. I can't remember for sure, but I want to say it was like $1.99 to $2.49, somewhere in there. Shouldn't be a surprise that the 7-Eleven one is probably the cheapest. It was also the most unnatural one of the bunch, so no shocker there.
There you go.
Thank you very much. You too. All right, let's drive on down, headed towards the Starbucks for our final destination, but let's give a go to the McDonald's PSL. Very hot. Very, very hot. Okay, that one's quite different from everything else that I've had so far. So from a sweetness perspective, I'd put it somewhere in the middle. It's nowhere near the bitterness level that you get from the Tim Hortons drink, but it's also nowhere near as sweet as the Wild American ones. Nicely balanced on the sugar front. Very, very heavy-handed with the pumpkin spice on this one. Perhaps a little bit too so. I'm getting a really strong hint of cinnamon, and unfortunately it's leaving a bit of an aftertaste in my mouth as well. The coffee blend that they used was actually really good. I like the espresso in here. I don't find it too bitter. I find it to be a very strong coffee. This is a very, very coffee blend of coffee, and you can't always say that about the PSL. Some people go so heavy that it's almost like drinking a candy drink as opposed to coffee. This, you still know at the end of the day, you are drinking coffee. So there's elements that I like a fair bit, and then elements that I don't like, largely the seasoning. So I think I'm gonna fall on C tier with this, which is to say, I don't think that I would go out of my way to get this, but it is also not a bad drink, and I do kind of like it a little bit. Not bad, McDonald's. Just ease up on the spice a little bit, and this probably drops itself into the B and even possibly the A tier. It really is the aftertaste that I don't like, but going down, it's quite nice. Fun fact, going down quite nice used to be my online dating name. My profile picture, just a giant coffee cup.
Hello, Mr. What can I get for you?
Hi there, can I get a small pumpkin spice latte, please?
Yeah. Anything else?
That's everything.
$5.90, please.
Thank you. This has got to be the fastest I've ever gotten through a Starbucks lineup. Why does nobody come to this one? And why didn't I know about this? The one near my house is always crazy busy. Maybe I'm gonna start coming here. Ooh, I think there's a hive of wasps up near the drive-through window. That might be why this is not popular. I'm gonna safely roll up my window until it's time to pay. And that was a good move. We've got a friend right by the window. I'm still loving this one from Second Cup. Keep that memory fresh in my mind because it might be a very real competitor to the Starbucks one we're about to have. You know, it's a little weird being back to a maskless society after we'd been using them for the last 2 years, and I admit I kind of miss just wearing mine in public. Guys, if you had to mask up, may as well have some fun with it, right? I had that one custom made. We're not really giant gamers in this household, but my son has discovered Mario, which has rekindled my love with Mario at the same time. So we've gone a little ham on the Mario. Thank you very much. Okay, the price on this, absolutely insane. $5.93 for a small. Although I just realized it's called a tall. I'm glad that she understood what I wanted when I said small. Sometimes they give you a little bit of attitude for that. Given the price to that may actually change things because I think the large from Second Cup might actually be cheaper than this small one from Starbucks. So they've got some pretty stiff competition, and the flavor on this is gonna have to be just downright sick in order to make sure that I continue to order these over just going to Second Cup instead. Not hard for me to get to Second Cup, guys. We got multiple locations around the city. You're playing with fire with this one. $6 for a small. Wow, this is where we're at. You know what? It's time. And that is why they can get away with charging $6 for this. S tier. It's still the king. I don't think I had any real doubts, but some thoughts started to creep into my head when Second Cup pumped out that really, really good one, but you can't beat the balance of this thing. They really have the entire package together. They don't kill you on the sugar front, even though there's probably like 180 grams of sugar in this tiny little cup. You don't feel like it's quite that sweet. They've got a really nice spice balance in here. The latte, it's very latte. The entire thing really just comes together in such a beautiful way, and nobody else is coming close to duplicating that. There's smaller coffee shops in and around the city that I could have hit up to throw into the competition, but I wanted to keep this more of a more broad competition, sort of the larger coffee shops that you might actually have a chance to hit up. I didn't want to make this an Ottawa only episode. And of course, if you enjoyed our little road trip today, do not forget to hit the like button on this video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Both of those actions help me out, and it has been so cool meeting more and more people from around the globe. I've built these connections with my audience that are fantastic, these other content creators that have these wonderful channels that I never would have known about if I hadn't started this channel in the first place. So by all means, like the video, subscribe. Love having you on board, love communicating with you. Thank you as always for your time, and I will catch you all in the next one. Ciao for now.